applications. These unprecedented developments are directly overturning traditional production and lifestyles, as well as fixed ways of thinking. Yesterday's glory has become today's desolation, yesterday's prosperity has turned into today's decline, and today's thriving industries will become tomorrow's ashes. A new civilization is being conceived and birthed. Shocks come from relentless natural disasters and the surging waves of humanitarian crises. The world is undergoing a grand reorganization, and everything incapable of adapting to these changes will inevitably be ruthlessly eliminated. The arrival of AI brings both joy and anxiety. The joy comes from AI comprehensively and massively liberating humanity. The anxiety stems from countless people losing their jobs, unsure of their next steps. In this time of great joy and sorrow, only the Chanyuan celestials of Lifechanyuan remain calm amid the tempest, singing ancient songs, laughing, and advancing carefree on their path to the celestial island's continent. We are filled with confidence about the future. This confidence comes from the revelations of the greatest Creator, from the tireless efforts of gods, Buddhas, celestials, and saints who forge ahead, from the unyielding spirit and selfless nobility of Chanyuan celestials, from humanity's millennia-long yearning for a better life, and from the natural laws governing the ascent of civilization. We foresee the advent of a harmonious world where the virtuous are not forgotten, where humanity unites as one family. We envision an era of favorable weather and peace where people live happily and securely. We see an age of universal joy, freedom, and happiness reaching its maturity. Over the past 20 years, Lifechanyuan's values have deeply rooted themselves in the fertile cultural soils of various nations. The second home's production and lifestyle model, despite nearly a decade of persecution and suppression, has not disappeared. Instead, it has demonstrated remarkable vitality. The facts prove that this new production and living model meets the needs of human civilization, aligns with human nature, accords with the will of gods, Buddhas, celestials, and saints, and fulfills the expectations of the world's people. The future mode of production and living for humanity will undoubtedly be the second home model created by Lifechanyuan. The suppression of Lifechanyuan in mainland China and the destruction of the second home did not hinder the advancement of human civilization. Today, the homes of Lifechanyuan in Thailand, Canada, and South Korea are thriving. We firmly believe that with the evolution and enhancement of AI's intelligence, the cooperation of nature, and the increasingly perfected qualities of the Chanyuan celestials, second homes will emerge and flourish across the Americas, Europe, Africa, and other regions. The vision of a united global family will gradually materialize, and humanity's long-cherished dream of happiness will become reality. Today, abundant content about Lifechanyuan and the second home can be found on international platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Quora, and Medium, as well as on communication platforms such as WeChat, TikTok, and Kuaishou. We also maintain 4 English websites and 4 Chinese websites, presenting detailed information about Lifechanyuan and the second home through text, images, and videos. A magnificent scene of 3,000 selfless warriors galloping and 100,000 Chanyuan academicians shaping the world is taking shape. The year 2025 is both auspicious and challenging. Regardless of the twists and turns or obstacles ahead, the Chanyuan celestials will press forward without hesitation, making the most of every moment, as they continue their journey to climb the peaks of life and life. In the years to come, the most notable global events will not be the disintegration of Russia, the resurgence of the United States, the chaos in the Middle East, the rise of Argentina, or the lament of a world in turmoil. Instead, it will be the continuous evolution of AI and the rise of the production and living model of Lifechanyuan's second home. The reason lies in the fact that the solution to humanity's predicament does not rest in UN conferences, the efforts of national leaders, or the theories of philosophers, thinkers, or economists. It certainly does not lie in the futile efforts of religions, spiritual groups, or communities. The solutions are AI and the second home's new production and living model. Living in this era of dazzling transformations is an extraordinary fortune. We are witnesses to the leap of human civilization and the collapse of the old era. Being part of this process is a privilege beyond measure. As Chanyuan celestials, we await the moment when the mountain blossoms bloom. Then, we will journey to celestial spaces, the 1,000-year world, 10,000-year world, and Elysium celestial islands continent, and revel in the boundless joy and romance of life. The Sacred Group of Humanity, a tribute to Chanyuan celestials. Xiefeng. January 23, 2025. In the starry sky of human history, a sacred constellation has emerged, called Lifechanyuan. Each of its elements is known as a Chanyuan celestial. Chanyuan celestials carry a divine mission. They are the children of the greatest creator of the universe, the embodiments of gods, Buddhas, and celestial beings, the fermenting agents leading humanity to a world of great harmony, and the representatives of humanity's highest civilization. Chanyuan celestials are selfless. They serve as assistants to the managers of Earth, striving to restore the planet's original purity, ensuring favorable weather, harmony among all living things, and thriving prosperity. They are determined to prevent the tragic disappearance of civilization from recurring and to extend humanity's existence for another 1,000 years. Chanyuan celestials are unselfish. They give and contribute every day, never calculating personal gains or losses. They own no private property, not even a penny. In terms of material resources, they live with absolutely nothing of their own. Chanyuan celestials are fearless and steadfast. They understand the mysteries of time, space, and life, and they are clear about the direction of the future. Even when the 12 poetic, paradise-like homes they built with their blood, sweat, and tears were destroyed by demons, they remained confident and unyielding. They still hum the melodies of creation's early days, walking romantically and optimistically along the winding paths toward the spiritual mountain. Chanyuan celestials are pioneers of the new era. They have established for humanity a lifestyle and production model that is entirely different from traditional concepts, one without marriage, family, private property, religions, political parties, or nations. This new model is the future living scenario for humanity, a terrestrial paradise, the second home. Chanyuan celestials are broad-minded and upright. Everything about them, from theory to practice, is exposed to the sunlight. They utter no mysterious words and engage in no secretive actions. Here, the truth is fully revealed, and falsehood, evil, and ugliness find no refuge. Over 20 spring, summer, autumn, and winter cycles, they have sown seeds of truth, kindness, beauty, love, faith, and sincerity along the paths they've traveled. Those who follow in their footsteps will surely encounter the beauty of blooming flowers and singing birds, and they will journey toward a world of great harmony and the heavenly spaces of the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the Elysium celestial islands continent. Chanyuan celestials are modern-day celestial beings living among humanity. In darkness, they see light; in chaos, they find peace; in troubled times, they maintain order; and in confusion, they remain clear-minded. Every day for them is a day of joy and laughter, a day of carefree play, a day of spiritual fulfillment, and a day of purposeful progress toward a well-defined destination. Chanyuan celestials are aristocrats in spirit, wealthy in heart, and creators of material abundance. In a barren land, they can create within a year a flourishing environment for hundreds of people, complete with large, clean, and orderly spaces such as restaurants, kitchens, bathrooms, toilets, entertainment halls, and bedrooms, surrounded by birdsong and floral fragrance. Their creativity is astonishing, and they are brimming with vitality and vigor. Wherever a group of Chanyuan celestials gathers, that place inevitably transforms into a terrestrial paradise. For thousands of years, the pages of humanity's history have been filled with suffering and hardship, absurdity and ridiculousness, tragedy and sorrow, cries and howls. The Chanyuan celestials will rewrite this history. Their pages will be filled with joy and happiness, freedom and bliss, auspiciousness and light, hope and longing. Chanyuan celestials will integrate with AI to create an unparalleled, beautiful future for humanity. The names of the Chanyuan celestials will be celebrated for eternity. How selfish the lying flat Lifechanyuan guide is. Xiefeng. September 3, 2024. It has been nearly 8 years since I came to Canada. I've interacted with thousands of Westerners, yet I haven't reaped a single mature crop, let alone established a proper home. Does that mean the Lifechanyuan guide is incompetent or selfish? The answer is, selfishness comes first, incompetence second. Reasons for selfishness. Avoiding trouble. When I was a class monitor in my second year of middle school, I realized that being a monitor was far less enjoyable than being an ordinary student. The role came with too many bothersome responsibilities. Ordinary students enjoyed more freedom, having fewer issues to handle was undoubtedly better. A simple life is the ideal. While living in Harare and working in business, I was so busy that I felt I was constantly chasing my own shadow. I never had a moment of peace. At the time, my dream was to live worry-free about food, clothing, housing, transportation, birth, aging, illness, and death, while understanding the world's dynamics without being an official or a public figure. Living a quiet, ordinary life seemed to me the best kind of life. Avoiding energy drain. I once introduced Lifechanyuan and the second home in a WeChat group of several hundred people. My message triggered ridicule, group attacks, and even insults from so-called high-level individuals. I left the group immediately and have since refrained from posting in any groups. That WeChat group serves as a microcosm, demonstrating that people's consciousness and spiritual states are not yet worth my energy. If they don't seek help, why should I offer it? Satisfied with others' simplicity. In Canada, I run a small guest house. Half of my guests come from Europe, while the other half are from the US or Canada. Most of them are couples, calm and unhurried in their interactions, seemingly content with life and free from any sense of urgency or dissatisfaction. I thought to myself, if they can muddle through life like this, maybe that's good enough. Deep down, I didn't feel the need to promote Lifechanyuan's values or the second home model. Following the way of nature. I follow the way of nature, the essence of which is to go with the flow, sow in spring, grow in summer, harvest in autumn, and store in winter. If people seek, I help, if they ask, I give. But if they neither seek nor ask, why offer help or give anything uninvited? The above 5 points explain why a large-scale. Although I've lived abroad for nearly 30 years in total, my English skills are only good enough to muddle through daily life. They are far from sufficient for formal intellectual or academic exchanges. This language barrier has hindered Lifechanyuan's expansion into Western society and the establishment of a home in Canada. Poor social skills. I'm not good at socializing. I speak directly without beating around the bush. If I feel out of sync with someone after just a few sentences, I want to walk away. I am more of a creator than a pioneer. Superficial understanding of Western culture. Although I've lived and worked within the British system for a long time, my understanding of Western culture remains shallow. I've never truly immersed myself in its soil. This superficial knowledge makes it difficult for me to engage in deep and meaningful exchanges with Westerners. Lack of interaction with Chinese communities. There are 1.7 million Chinese people in Canada. Couldn't I at least develop some celestials within the Chinese community? Unfortunately, in nearly 8 years of living in Canada, I've had close contact with fewer than 8 Chinese strangers. Apart from occasional visits to Vancouver, where I can see many Chinese faces, I rarely encounter even 2 or 3 Chinese people in a year. Especially after moving to Anaheim Lake, it seems there isn't a single Chinese person within a 300-kilometer radius. Selfishness plus incompetence equals no large-scale second home was built. If the end is death, why live? Xiefeng. February 3, 2025. When it comes to life's journey, there is little difference between humans and pigs. When a pig is born, we already know that 99% of them will ultimately meet their end by slaughter. Likewise, no matter how noble or lowly a person's birth may be, their final destination is the same, death. A fat pig has no reason to mock a thin pig, for their fate is identical. Similarly, the wealthy and powerful have no grounds to ridicule the poor, as their ultimate outcome is no different. If we are aware from the start that death is the final destination, why are we born at all? In reality, just like pigs, humans have no say in whether they are born or not. Looking at all living beings in nature, we see that most follow a life trajectory similar to that of pigs. Take even the smallest insect. Once it is born, it wriggles tirelessly, struggling to survive. And when we observe humans, as soon as they grow up, they begin a lifetime of ceaseless toil. Comparing the two, we find that the frantic busyness of insects and humans is nearly indistinguishable. In essence, when it comes to the struggle for survival, humans and insects are no different. Since death is the final destination for all beings, the value and meaning of life lie in the experiences and sensations within the time between birth and death. Yet, even knowing that death awaits, we are still bound to struggle, labor, and strive. This is the helplessness and tragedy of human existence. This raises an intriguing question: if life is merely the brief span between birth and death, how can we live happily, joyfully, freely, and blissfully while avoiding worry, pain, sorrow, and fear? An even more profound question follows: if death is merely the end of the physical body while the soul continues to exist, then life is not just the period between birth and death but rather a short interlude in the grand journey of existence. This realization divides humanity into two types. One consists of those who are essentially no different from pigs and insects, merely struggling to survive. The other appears outwardly the same but is fundamentally different. These are the people who seek happiness, joy, freedom, and bliss, and who strive to ensure that after their physical body perishes, their soul journeys to a better place. Thus, those who live solely to accumulate wealth, material possessions, power, and status are nothing more than a variant of pigs and insects. In contrast, those who pursue happiness, joy, freedom, and bliss, and who dedicate their lives to ensuring that their soul transcends to a more beautiful space after death, are not pigs or insects. They are the seeds of celestial beings, Buddhas, and angels. Those who are obsessed with becoming superior to others are merely pigs striving to become fatter pigs. The conclusion is this: do not let the illusion of death blind your spiritual vision, nor allow yourself to live like a pig or an insect. Instead, direct your life toward happiness, joy, freedom, and bliss, and let your existence evolve toward a more beautiful space. Do not shrink back because of the risks along the way, and do not let the certainty of death fill you with sorrow or fear. 2025. Introduction to the Heavenly Bank. Xiefeng. November 30, 2024. Christ Jesus taught us: do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and rust do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Matthew 6 verses 19 to 21. Dayform Buddha, Lifechanyuan's spiritual guide Xiefeng, reminds us: where your heart resides, there you shall go in the future. The establishment of the Heavenly Bank fulfills God's teachings and guides people in accumulating treasures stored in heaven. On January 1, 2018, humanity entered a new era, the era of Lifechanyuan. The first 30 years mark a period of purification and elimination, followed by a 10-year adjustment phase. After this, humanity will step into a harmonious world of unity, where the globe will be one family, enjoying favorable weather and enduring peace for 1,000 years. What is F-Coin? The treasures of the Heavenly Bank are termed F-Coin. Since this new era was initiated by Lifechanyuan, all contributions, whether in material wealth, spiritual wealth, or soul wealth to Lifechanyuan's cause are rewarded with a certain amount of F-Coin. In this harmonious world, the traditional financial systems of banks and currency will be replaced by the F-Coin system. People will be able to use F-Coin to access their rightful benefits. Characteristics of F-Coin. Exclusive to individual use, F-Coin cannot be borrowed, transferred, gifted, or passed on as an inheritance. Tamper-proof and secure records, it cannot be counterfeited. Stolen or fraudulently acquired F-coin will be unusable. If lost, there is no need to worry, as the Heavenly Bank securely records all holdings. Worldwide usability, F-coin can be used anywhere on Earth. How to accumulate F-coin. Material contributions. For every US $1.50 contributed to Lifechanyuan's cause, you earn 1 F-coin. For $150, you earn 100 F-coin, and so on. Written advocacy. Articles promoting Lifechanyuan's values or the second home model earn 10 F-coin for every 1,000 words. Video promotion. Videos under 1 minute, 1 F-coin. Videos 1 to 3 minutes, 2 F-coin. Videos 3. Land contributions. Providing land for the second home that accommodates 30 people for long-term use earns between 110,000 F-coin, depending on the land's value. Active participation. Daily contributions to building the second home, effort exceeding personal benefits, earn 1 F-coin per day. Exceptional contributions. Significant contributions to Lifechanyuan's cause can earn between 100 and 100,000 F-coin, depending on the scale and value of the contributions. Claiming F-coin. To claim your F-coin, provide evidence of your contributions to any designated Chanyuan celestial. They will submit your F-coin for official recording in the Heavenly Bank, and you will receive corresponding F-coin notes. A final reminder. Those with spirituality, through silent prayer, can perceive the profound changes occurring on earth. This is a critical period of life and death, where the choice of direction lies with each individual. Opportunities abound for everyone, but should suffering or misfortune arise, there will be no one to blame, not heaven, not earth, and not the greatest creator. May those blessed with heavenly fortune strive to accumulate treasures in the Heavenly Bank. The Revelation of F-Coins. Xiefeng. February 16, 2025. The highest state of life is unity with the Tao. The Tao is me, and I am the Tao and I are one, without distinction. The finest quality of life is honesty, being true and free of falsehood, completely genuine, with heart, spirit, intention, and form in perfect harmony. The ultimate pursuit of self-cultivation is to attain the Tao. To attain the Tao means to attain everything, it means attaining the universe and eternal life. Where there is no Tao, there is scholarship. Where there is no Tao, morality is emphasized. Where there is no morality, benevolence is emphasized. Where there is no benevolence, righteousness is emphasized. Where there is no righteousness, propriety is emphasized. Where there is no propriety, wisdom is emphasized. Where there is no wisdom, only skills and techniques remain. F-coins are a gateway for individuals to align with the Tao. They are the touchstone that reveals whether a person is genuine or deceitful, the microscope that allows one to examine their own character, and the benchmark that tests whether one's self-cultivation is authentic or superficial. Whether a person is a Buddha or a demon can be determined by the authenticity of their F-coins. If their F-coins are genuine, they are a Buddha; if they are false, they are a demon. The distance a person has from heaven can be measured by their F-coins. The more F-coins one has, the closer they are to heaven; the fewer, the farther away they are. First and foremost, each individual is their own mint for F-coins. Apart from the Tao, no one has the right to judge the authenticity of another's F-coins, nor does anyone have the interest to do so. We understand that a nation's currency supply must match its wealth, including resources, productivity, technological advancements, and more. If the money supply exceeds the nation's overall wealth, inflation occurs, causing the currency to lose value. Similarly, the number of F-coins one possesses must correspond to their selfless dedication and contributions. This dedication and contribution must be made without expecting anything in return. Calculating F-coins accurately and honestly is a serious test of one's character. In human society, false information and deception are rampant. In many cases, those who fabricate data and manipulate information actually reap countless benefits. Many wealthy individuals and high-ranking officials have attained their positions through dishonesty. The prevalence of deception in this complex social environment deeply influences public consciousness, shaping people's thoughts, behaviors, and speech. As a result, dishonesty has become the norm. Consequently, when calculating their own F-coins, people might be tempted to exaggerate or deceive. The moment one does this, they become a fraud, a worldly person, and a demon on the path of self-cultivation. Thus, the less visible one's actions are to others, the more cautious and meticulous one must be, for the eyes of the divine see all. If there is any falsehood in one's F-coins, it amounts to self-destruction. This is why I say, it is better to underreport than to overreport. Do not first concern yourself with whether F-coins hold practical value or function. Instead, focus on whether you can pass the test of calculating your F-coins with integrity. This is a way to verify whether you are an honest life. We know that the formless determines the form. Consciousness is formless, yet it dictates one's thoughts, words, and actions. The wealth of heaven is formless, yet it determines the ultimate destination of a life. We also know that the sum of positive and negative energy in the universe is zero, and that giving and contributing must ultimately balance with receiving and enjoying. The more F-coins one has, the more they have given and contributed while receiving less in return. In this way, the balance of positive and negative energy cannot be maintained at zero. Therefore, the program of the Tao must arrange for those with abundant F-coins to enter heaven, ensuring compliance with the law of equilibrium. Thus, earning F-coins becomes the most critical task of life. The Tao is the most impartial force in both heaven and earth. This impartiality is reflected in individuals. Those who give and contribute more deserve better living conditions, environments, and benefits. Those who have the ability to contribute but refuse to do so deserve to starve. This is the ultimate manifestation of the Tao's fairness. Xiefeng-style communism is absolutely not about equalizing benefits between those who contribute much and those who contribute little. That would be neither fair nor just, but rather an act of allowing the cunning and deceitful to exploit the honest and sincere. Therefore, F-coins serve as the fairest and most reasonable standard for determining whether a Chanyuan celestial can enter the home and which home they can enter in the future. The birth of F-coins is a revelation from God Jesus. When the world enters the era of the Great Unity, all other currencies will disappear, and F-coins will become the universal currency of both heaven and earth. What is the outcome of seeking the Tao? Dayform Buddha. March 1, 2007. Seeking the Tao has no outcome. Where is the Tao? Fish live in water, humans exist within the Tao. We are already within the Tao, so where is there to go in seeking it? Thus, the act of seeking the Tao is like riding a donkey while searching for it, or asking, the monk is still here, so where have I gone? When we regard ourselves as seekers of the Tao and feel smug or self-satisfied, thinking we are enlightened, that is precisely when we are most lost in self-delusion. How could seeking the Tao ever have an outcome? Everything in the universe is a process. No matter how life evolves, its essence is a process. Therefore, to seek the Tao is to seek the process, not the outcome. The wise words of Gao Shan Lu Shui remind us. When the search for truth brings increasing joy to your life, then you are on the right path. But when it brings increasing pain, then your path is mistaken. Indeed, this is true. Are you happy and joyful in this very moment? If so, you have found the Tao and are resonating in harmony with it. Are you troubled and distressed right now? If so, you have lost the Tao and are out of sync with it. To seek the Tao means to seek happiness and joy, the outcome. Seeking a future outcome is like chasing after tomorrow. Tomorrow upon tomorrow, how many tomorrow upon tomorrow, how many tomorrows lie ahead? If we live for tomorrow, all will end in regret. Note, explanation of the monk is still here, so where have I gone, story mentioned above. Once upon a time, a government escort, known as a guan chai in ancient China, a type of subordinate government agent, was tasked with escorting a monk convicted of breaking monastic precepts to exile. Every morning, before setting out, the escort would carefully check 4 things: his belongings, including food and money, the official documents, needed to complete the mission, the monk, as losing him would mean grave consequences, and finally himself. Only after ensuring everything was accounted for would he begin the journey. Day after day, they traveled together, crossing rushing streams, dense forests, desolate paths, and towering mountains. Over time, the escort and the monk grew familiar with each other, forming a bond like that of friends. As they approached their destination, one cold and stormy evening, they stopped at an inn to rest. The monk, seeing an opportunity, said to the escort, "You've taken such good care of me on this long journey, and our parting is near. Let me repay your kindness. I still have some money left. Shall we have a good meal and some wine tonight?" The escort was delighted and called out for the best food and drink. Feeling relieved of his responsibilities for the night, he drank freely and soon fell into a deep, drunken sleep. Seeing the escort had fallen into a deep sleep, the monk seized his chance. He found the key to his shackles, freed himself, and shaved the escort's head clean. He then switched his prison robe for the escort's clothing and locked the shackles around the escort's ankles. Before leaving, the monk chuckled and said, "See you, my friend," and disappeared into the night. The next morning, the escort woke up feeling refreshed. As usual, he began his daily routine of checking everything before resuming the journey. First, his belongings, still there. Next, the official documents, also present. Then he looked for the monk but couldn't find him. Confused, he started to rise, only to be tripped by the shackles now on his own legs. He rubbed his head and was shocked to feel smooth skin. His head was completely bald. Looking down, he realized he was wearing the monk's robes. A sudden thought struck him: the monk is still here, so where have I gone? This humorous and thought-provoking story serves as a metaphor for losing oneself while navigating life's processes, urging us to reflect on the elusive nature of self and identity. Transcending mundane bonds and forming celestial ties. March 24, 2006. The methods of self-practice and cultivation are as vast as the ocean. As a path toward becoming a celestial being, transcending mundane bonds and forming celestial ties is a crucial practice. Everything is governed by karma. Bonds are formed when karma arises and dissolve when karma ends. Those with destiny will meet across 1,000 miles, while those without it will not meet even face to face. Regardless of distance, whether spanning thousands of miles, traversing mountains and rivers, or extending across different realms like the 1,000-year world, 10,000-year world, blissful world, the animal world, the netherworld, or the frozen layer, these bonds are difficult to sever and must ultimately be resolved. Every interaction we have, whether with parents, children, friends, colleagues, neighbors, or even adversaries and enemies, is rooted in karmic causes and effects. Without cause, there is no ripple. Subconsciously, nothing unrelated to us can occur. A careful analysis of all our encounters reveals that they are tied to past karma. There is no love without cause, no hatred without reason, no arrival without karma, and no departure without it. This understanding teaches us that self-practice and cultivation must focus on fully resolving worldly bonds and broadly forming celestial ties. Resolving mundane bonds and forming celestial ties involves 2 key aspects. L. Resolving ties with worldly individuals. L. Letting go of attachments to the mundane world. At the same time, one should actively form connections with celestial beings, Buddhas, and those with celestial affinities, while striving to shift one's consciousness from the human world to the celestial world. Resolving ties with worldly individuals. Resolving ties with worldly individuals primarily involves repaying debts owed to them. As Jesus taught, you will not get out until you have paid the last penny. Debts must be repaid. If not in this life, they will carry over to the next, or even the life after that. As long as we owe debts to worldly individuals or society, we cannot leave the human world and will be bound to reincarnate here to repay them. The greater the debt, the lower the life level, and the smaller the chance of entering the celestial world. Letting go of attachments to the mundane world. Honoring parents, raising children, caring for siblings, and contributing to society are all forms of debt repayment. Their purpose is to resolve worldly bonds, avoid reincarnation, and free oneself from suffering and hardship. A key principle of self-practice and cultivation is, better to let others owe me than to owe others. Do not seek advantages. Give more and take less. This approach not only helps repay debts but also accumulates wealth in the heavenly kingdom. Avoid deep involvement with worldly mortals whenever possible. Do not extend kindness or harbor malice toward them. Do not accept their favors, as worldly benefits often hinder the path to the heavenly kingdom. For example, if you are a doctor, never accept extra gratitude from patients. If you are a government official, never accept extra rewards or bribes. Do not let short-term benefits cloud your spiritual vision, planting seeds of future suffering. It is evident that forming ties with wicked individuals will entangle you in their troubles. If they end up in jail, you may be implicated or, at the very least, disturbed for a period of time. If they descend into hell, you might have to follow to resolve your karmic ties. Proximity to vermilion makes one red, proximity to ink makes one black. Worship Buddha, gain Buddhahood, worship demons, gain demonic traits. Frequent exposure to the river makes one wet, and frequent trips to the well will eventually break the pot. Being close to the mountains makes one familiar with the sound of birds, being close to the water makes one understand the nature of fish. Staying long in fragrant places makes one unaware of the scent, while staying long in foul places makes one oblivious to the stench. Understanding these principles early allows us to distance ourselves from harmful places and people before regret becomes too late. The best way to repay debts. The best way to repay debts and resolve mundane bonds is through formless giving, generous acts of merit without attachment. By accumulating wealth in the Tao's bank, the Tao will automatically help repay your debts. Thus, a debt owed to person A doesn't have to be repaid directly to them, it can be repaid through formless giving to persons B, C, and D. For example, if your parents have passed away and you haven't repaid the debt of their upbringing, you can repay it by accumulating merit through selfless actions for others. Forming celestial ties. Actively forming celestial ties involves interacting with those who have celestial and enlightened roots. These individuals not only avoid bringing trouble into your life but also bring happiness and joy. As the saying goes, when one person attains the Tao, even their household rises to heaven. While this may not be entirely literal, it highlights the profound influence celestial ties have. By forming deep connections with them, your chances of entering the heavenly kingdom increase. Connections between Lifechanyuan celestials are essentially celestial ties. If you form bonds with 10 celestials who become celestial beings, the karmic ties between you will inevitably guide you to the celestial world, as these bonds will naturally pull you along. The benefits of transcending mundane bonds and forming celestial ties are profound. Reflect on and savor these truths, and once you understand the principles, you will know how to approach self-practice and cultivation. Self-purification is the key. Xiefeng. September 3, 2007. At Dar es Salaam Airport, I observed people casually discarding scraps of paper onto the ground. At Singapore Airport, however, not a single piece of litter could be found, people consciously maintained the pristine public environment. In high-end hotels, no one spits on the ground, while in small roadside eateries, people spit freely, Shops that are elegantly decorated, clean, and tidy often have few customers, while chaotic and cluttered ones are packed. Many people decide whether to enter a shop based on the appearance of its displays and storefront. If a shop appears too perfect, people may feel intimidated, perceiving themselves as unworthy of entering such a luxurious and refined space. In some homes where everything is tidy, orderly, and spotless, guests often feel restrained. Their speech and posture become cautious, and they dare not act casually. Similarly, when viewing nude images in erotic magazines or on websites, people might feel an overwhelming desire to embrace and engage in sensual acts. However, when viewing nude paintings by master artists in an art gallery, such impulses vanish, replaced by a profound sense of beauty that uplifts the spirit and soul. Even when faced with a living, naked beauty, if her figure reflects the golden ratio of perfect curves, her demeanor exudes purity, her speech is elegant, and she radiates compassion and harmony, it is impossible for anyone to entertain impure thoughts. Sexual impulses dissipate, leaving only admiration and reverence. Being in her aura feels like an exquisite happiness, even a single glance provides an indescribable satisfaction. Some might feel it an unparalleled honor to serve her eternally. Any act of disrespect would leave one feeling deeply ashamed of their soul's flaws and inadequacies. Perfect things elevate people, fostering nobility and civility, steering them away from base desires and guiding them toward the heavenly kingdom. These examples reveal a profound truth: self-purification is the key. Self-purification is the key means that when one achieves inner and outer perfection and elegance, others will naturally refrain from tarnishing or desecrating it. Dirty places invite litter and spitting, while clean and tidy environments inspire people to restrain themselves and strive to maintain the beauty. To prevent others from littering or spitting in your courtyard, you must first create an attractive and clean environment. To stop people from gossiping about you, you must first cultivate a perfect heart and exhibit refined speech and behavior. Just as the saying goes, where flowers bloom, butterflies naturally gather. Self-purification prevents desecration. We often notice an abundance of flies in certain places and complain about how annoying they are. In truth, the fault lies not with the flies don't land on unbroken eggs. Flies avoid clean and beautiful places. If there are many flies, it's because the environment is too dirty. To keep flies away, the best solution is to improve your surroundings. Many parents complain about their children associating with bad company, blaming those people. However, such complaints are misplaced. The problem lies not with those individuals but with the children themselves, and ultimately, with the parents. The more beautiful a place, the fewer people frequent it. Conversely, the dirtier and messier a place, the more crowded it becomes. Crowded places are rarely ideal, while tranquil spots are more likely to be beautiful. This explains why the 1,000-year world is sparsely populated, the 10,000-year world even more so, and the celestial islands continent the least of all. Similarly, the human world is densely populated, the animal world even more so, and hell is the most crowded of all. When art is profound, its audience is limited. The more refined and perfect a life structure is, the lonelier it becomes in the human world, as there are fewer kindred spirits. When your emotions are as subtle as fewer people can appreciate it. When one's heart enters the antimatter world, their emotions become so refined that they are imperceptible, almost empty. How can the people of the human world appreciate them? It becomes intangible, mysterious. Therefore, such individuals become increasingly lonely. However, the ugly duckling among the ducks will inevitably find resonance with the swans it encounters. Once it spreads its wings and joins them in flight, loneliness will vanish, for it has transcended isolation and found its kind. In summary, to dwell in a beautiful environment, one must first achieve self-purification. Purify your intentions. Do not blame your surroundings, as everything around you is drawn by yourself, be it your parents, spouse, children, siblings, colleagues, friends, race, environment, era, and so on. Everything is of your own making. The gate to the heavenly kingdom is narrow because self-purified individuals are scarce, whereas complainers and blamers are abundant. The Other Shore. Dayform Buddha. May 31, 2006. Rivers have this shore and the other shore, and so does life. From the shore of a river, one crosses to the other shore by boat, disembarking upon arrival. Similarly, from the shore of life, One crosses to the other shore using the physical body as the vessel, abandoning it upon reaching the destination. Some do not believe in the existence of the other shore, some doubt its existence, some know it exists but are unaware of its conditions, and some wish to reach it but do not know how to get there. Christopher Columbus once sought funding from the Spanish king and queen for a maritime expedition. Columbus believed the earth was round, reasoning that if one kept moving forward, they would eventually return to the starting point. The king and queen were skeptical and convened a committee of renowned scholars and geographers, including theologians such as St. Augustine and Christian philosopher Lactantius, to evaluate the feasibility. The resulting report stated, "Would anyone be foolish enough to believe in a place where people walk upside down, their feet against ours, their heads pointing downward? Or that such a place exists where trees grow downward, and rain, snow, and hail fall upward?" Declaring the earth to be round is merely a defense of such myths about the existence of polar opposites. The western Atlantic is boundless and perhaps unnavigable. For centuries, no one has discovered any uncharted, useful lands there. Others said, "Your Majesty, Columbus is undoubtedly a fraud, attempting to swindle money for his indulgences. Should you fund him, the world will mock your Majesty. The only solution for such a swindler is execution by hanging." Those who ridiculed Columbus lacked a holistic understanding of the earth. Jesus Christ knew of the other shore. Buddha Shakyamuni knew of the other shore. The spiritual guide of Lifechanyuan also knows of the other shore. Christ did not describe the conditions of the other shore. Buddha did not provide a complete discussion of it. To lead people to the other shore, the guide of Lifechanyuan has come, inheriting the mission of Christ and Buddha to fulfill the will of the greatest creator. The 36-dimensional spaces can be seen as 36 distinct other shores. For life, the most ideal other shores are the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the Elysium world. The least desirable ones are the netherworld, the frozen layer, and the fiery refining layer. Naturally, few will believe this account, just as experts in Columbus's era doubted the Earth's roundness. The guide does not expect everyone to believe it, 1% of the population will suffice. As for how to reach life's ideal other shore, only one person in the world knows, and that is the guide of Lifechanyuan. Trust in Christ was not misplaced. Trust in Buddha was not misplaced. Trust in the guide of Lifechanyuan is also not misplaced because Jesus, Buddha, and the guide are one and the same, indistinguishable. Many may think the guide of Lifechanyuan is a grand deceiver, motivated by fame and fortune. To this, the guide has no response. Buddha once renounced the chance to become a king, he had no desire for it. Many sought to make Jesus a king, but he fled. Speculating that the guide seeks kingship is baseless. If possible, the guide would prefer death and has no desire to remain in this world even 1 second longer. Consider the story of the spider demons who captured Tang Sanzang, offering what they believed to be the finest delicacies, including plump insects. The spider demons thought this was the ultimate hospitality. But if you were Tang Sanzang, would you eat such food? Or imagine a pack of dogs that fought incessantly and eventually begged a human to become their king, bowing humbly and sincerely. If you were that human, would you accept the role of their king? Delicious insects may be prized by spiders but are unsuitable for Tang Sanzang, they are not his food. A king of dogs, no matter how prestigious, does not suit humans, it is not their calling. Do not think I desire anything in this human world. Even the humblest citizen of the heavenly kingdom is nobler than a king, president, or leader of this earthly world. If you approach with sincere scientific curiosity, you will believe me. If you have spirituality, you will believe me. If you understand divine revelations, you will believe me. If you grasp Christ's heart, you will believe me. It is like launching a spacecraft into outer space, every calculation must be precise. Blind attempts and wishful thinking are futile. Do not harbor the slightest delusion. If you lack clarity on even one calculation or entertain unrealistic expectations, you will never reach the ideal other shore. The life values advocated by Lifechanyuan. Dayform Buddha. August 27, 2006. Life values are the compass and guide that help one adjust their direction in life, based on their worldview and outlook on life. Different values lead to different life paths. The vast diversity of lives primarily stems from the multitude of value systems. Jesus and Buddha's values shaped their divine and enlightened qualities, while Hitler's values shaped his demonic nature. Some enter politics, others engage in business, some become clergy, and others turn to theft or robbery. These life paths are largely determined by their differing values. Values represent a form of awareness. The way one lives and pursues life depends on this awareness. Many people spend their entire lives rushing around, yet achieve little. This often occurs because they lack clear values, or their values are chaotic and undefined. Such individuals rarely reflect on what is most important in life, leaving them unable to distinguish priorities or determine what matters most. They follow the crowd. When the east wind blows, they follow the east. When the west wind blows stronger, they drift with the west. As a result, they exhaust themselves throughout life without ever achieving clarity or purpose. A life without direction is blind. A life without values is confused. Life's sufferings and misfortunes often arise from the absence of a clear direction and set of values. Correct values stem from an accurate understanding of the universe, time, space, and life. To establish correct life values, one must first cultivate an accurate worldview and understanding of life. Our awareness and perception of the universe's myriad phenomena lead us to recognize a supernatural soul, the greatest creator, and the ordered operation of the universe. The force governing this order is the Tao, and everything operates under the control of the greatest creator's spirit, the Tao. We also understand that the universe consists of 36 dimensions, that life is eternal, and that death is not the end of existence. Life is merely a single journey of life itself, and the end of one journey marks the beginning of another. The quality of one's new starting point depends on the life quality achieved at the end of the previous journey. Those with higher quality life may ascend to heavenly realms, while those with lower quality life descend to lower levels of existence. Based on this worldview and understanding of life, Lifechanyuan advocates the following life values. The highest priority in life is to refine and perfect the non-material structure of one's being. The most valuable pursuit is to refine the spiritual structure of life, no matter the cost, ensuring entry into higher levels of existence after death to enjoy eternal life and bliss. For this purpose, we revere the greatest creator, life, and nature, walking in the way of the greatest creator. We perceive, pursue, verify, attain, and uphold the Tao. We heed the teachings of Jesus and Buddha, actively exploring the mysteries of time, space, and life. We do good deeds, repay all our debts to the world, and honor our responsibilities. We fulfill our duties wholeheartedly, engage with the world while transcending it, rise above the ordinary, and strive to scale the highest peaks of life and life. We accumulate merit through diligent work, storing treasures in heaven. We seek to sever worldly entanglements, forge celestial connections, and transcend the limits of time and space. We focus our vision on the 1,000-year world, 10,000-year world, and Elysium world, projecting our finite lives into the boundless expanse of eternal life. Moreover, we approach life as a game. Whether life is simple or complex, marked by gain or loss, brilliance or solitude, longevity or brevity, wealth or poverty, good fortune or adversity, it is all part of the journey. Life is but a journey, and at its end, we all must disembark. Each day we live, we pursue freedom, joy, and happiness, striving for a life free of regrets. The earlier one understands the principles of life, the better. Tomorrow may mark the end of this life's journey. Every moment of life is priceless, and wasted time can never be reclaimed. Not a single moment must be wasted on illusions or the trivial concerns of the world. We do not fight with heaven, earth, people, or governments. Instead, we entrust our lives to the greatest creator and the Tao. We never surrender our lives to nations, political parties, religions, families, masters, spouses, gangs, organizations, or any individual. My destiny rests firmly in my own hands. Blessings from the Kingdom of Heaven. April 27, 2006. Humanity is about to enter the Lifechanyuan era, a golden age lasting 1,000 years. The earthly paradise, the utopia, and a replica of the 1,000-year world will manifest on earth. This is the will of the greatest Creator, the aspiration of gods and Buddhas, the hope of celestial beings and saints, and the ideal of wise sages. It is the long-cherished dream of countless generations of kind, diligent, honest, and trustworthy people. Forces representing light, justice, peace, and freedom will converge through the tunnel of time and space, from the distant kingdom of heaven, from the ancient past, from the remote future, and from every corner of earth, to build the Lifechanyuan era together. This is a momentous era, an era of profound cultural transformation, awakening consciousness, and opportunities for sages to achieve greatness. It is also a time of intense struggle between light and darkness. All life forms resonating with the values of lifecal harmony is about to arrive. In this new era, nations, religions, political parties, and families will disappear, greed, selfishness, deception, and evil will be eradicated, hunger, disasters, conflicts, anxiety, and disease will vanish. You will enter a paradise of life where lost items are left untouched, doors are left unlocked at night, talents are not overlooked in the countryside, the world is one family, and freedom, joy, and harmony reign supreme. From then on, you will fully enjoy the happiness and bliss of a joyful and peaceful heart and mind. This is a blessing from the greatest Creator and a grace from gods and Buddhas. It is the distilled wisdom of humanity's sages over millennia. It is the fruit of the ceaseless efforts of devout Christians, Buddhists, Muslims, Taoists, Marxists, and Communists. It is also the natural reward for your sincere prayers, diligent practice, and uplifting consciousness that have moved heaven and earth. The universe operates holographically, with consciousness at its core. The messages you send to the universe determine the feedback you receive through the way of the greatest Creator. As the saying goes, you reap what you sow, a fair lady is what a gentleman yearns for. What you give is what you gain, profit leads to loss. The way operates with precision, nothing escapes its scrutiny, and every cause produces its effect. You are a fortunate generation, witnessing a great adjustment of cosmic life, a rare opportunity that occurs once in hundreds of millions of years. It is a chance to break free from the shackles of misfortune and to manifest the brilliance of human nature. The way requires close cooperation from every individual, not for others but for yourself. Aligning with the way brings boundless blessings, opposing it leads to eternal regret. As a famous verse says, beside the wrecked ship, thousands of sails pass by, in front of the sick tree, countless new shoots thrive. Do not cling to the past or yearn for bygone days. Believe in the wisdom of the present generation and embrace the unprecedentedly beautiful era ahead. Trust in today's prophets and sages, rather than getting trapped in the quagmire of the past. The gateway to the labyrinth of life has just opened, keep your mind clear and your eyes sharp. Do not squander this precious time. The Old Testament describes gods who created nations like Israel, but not the supreme Lord of the universe. Revere the greatest Creator, who embodies 8 main characteristics, and respect the Heavenly Father that Jesus spoke of. True faith in Jesus lies not in blindly following the words written by His disciples, but in understanding His will and heart. Remember, words are static, but the heart is alive and dynamic. To remain dead is to cling to words, to come alive is to enter into Jesus' heart and unite with Him. The compassionate Buddha Shakyamuni has already prepared a raft for us to cross the ocean of life. Those with great aspirations who board his Dharma vessel will reach the blissful other shore. Chant and explain the Diamond Sutra to others, the blessings and merits you accumulate will be beyond imagination. Your cultivation should focus on understanding the Tao, seeking the Tao, attaining the Tao, and walking the Tao. Do not get attached to Gong practices, methods, mystical arts, or rituals. Focus on the essence rather than outward appearances or forms. The core of cultivation is to perfect the non-material structure of your life, not to acquire wisdom or supernatural abilities. You must concentrate on transforming your consciousness and elevating your thinking, rather than merely meditating or practicing techniques. Reflect deeply on the 8 types of thinking proposed by Lifechanyuan and diligently strive to comprehend the 8 mysteries of life. Live with integrity and sincerity. Be open and honest, not secretive or mysterious. Avoid being deceitful or sneaky. Present yourself openly before the greatest creator and others. Ensure your words and actions align, that your inner self matches your outward appearance, and that you can withstand the scrutiny of the greatest creator, the government, kind-hearted people, and the tests of this new era. The way of the greatest creator is the way of reason, joy, freedom, and happiness. Whether you are in favorable or adverse circumstances, facing despair or even death, always maintain inner peace and joy. Trust that the greatest creator is observant and impartial, rewarding and punishing justly. Have the courage to entrust your life to the way and allow it to guide you. Avoid participating in fanatical religious or political activities, sectarian movements driven by hatred aimed at overthrowing governments, or superstitious practices that lack scientific or factual grounding. Do not engage in nationalism or ethnic nationalism that does not benefit humanity as a whole. Stay away from theft, robbery, murder, deception, extortion, and oppression. Avoid associating with those who lack faith, integrity, or a willingness to work, as well as those who incite hatred, promote violence, or manipulate others. You are the civilized life destined for eternity, not the barbaric group that will be purified and eliminated. The Lifechanyuan celestials are the children of the greatest creator, the seeds of humanity for the new era. As one family under Lifechanyuan, cherish and love one another. Live in harmony. Relationships among Chanyuan celestials are like those of siblings, relatives, and lovers. No other relationships exist. Strive to embody kindness, honesty, trustworthiness, diligence, simplicity, and wisdom in your inner world. Bring out the truth, goodness, beauty, and love hidden within your life structure to the fullest extent. Blend yourself, like a drop of water, into the vast ocean of Lifechanyuan. Collaborate with the great cosmic life adjustment to create a joyful homeland and build a beautiful, boundless future for yourself. These blessings come from the kingdom of heaven. Glory belongs to the greatest creator. Happiness belongs to those who revere the greatest creator, respect life, cherish nature, and walk the way of the greatest creator. May you walk out of confusion, enter the Lifechanyuan era, an earthly paradise, and extend your life to the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the Elysium world, enjoying eternal bliss. Today marks the auspicious reopening of the gates of Lifechanyuan. It is a turning point in each individual's life and in the transformation of human consciousness. The greatest creator is with you. Christ Jesus and Buddha Shakyamuni are with you. Prophet Muhammad and Sage Laozi are with you. All the saints and sages of humanity are with you. Your joy and happiness will be infinite. The most beautiful blessings are yours. Reflections on Chinshin Celestials, the Elusive One. Dayform Buddha. December 11, 2006. Chinshin Celestial reveals a profound truth: one must attain the Tao in the present moment. Chasing illusory perfection is as futile as trying to catch one's shadow. Attaining the Tao now is grasping the One. If one hopes to achieve it in the future, it will forever remain out of reach. This aligns with Dong Hai Yixiao's insight in life blossoms in every instant. Both are words of wisdom from those who have entered the Tao. Explaining this state of being through words is difficult, not because it is impossible, but because it requires extensive elaboration. An instant is eternity, and successive instants form a continuous eternity. Seekers of the Tao must remain unwavering, centered, and focused in every moment. Neglecting the significance of an instant distances one from the Tao. As Chinshin Celestial remarks, life blossoms in every instant. Others unable to feel it. Life blossoms in every instant. If we lack love in this moment, no flower of love can bloom. Procrastination leads to regret. Appreciate the flowers while they are in full bloom. If delayed, they will have withered. A man cannot step into the same river twice, and time flows on like a river. Regret always comes too late. So, how long will we wait? Lifechanyuan Buddha has clearly stated that one's future after death depends on their state of being at the moment of death. And what determines that state? Whether one has attained the Tao in the present moment. For just as life blossoms in every instant, so too does it wither and fade. I once wrote an article titled "Each Day Could Be Your Last." How much longer will we wait? Treat every day as though it were the final day of your life, and you will attain the Tao. If there is something in your heart to say, say it now. Tomorrow is uncertain. Catastrophes like tsunamis can strike without warning. If you need to repent, repent now. If you owe someone an apology, apologize now. If you wish to become a celestial of Lifechanyuan, apply now. If you wish to do good, do it now. And yes, even if you feel the urge to curse someone, curse them now. Many people, when facing death, are consumed by regret, bitterness, and remorse, lamenting their missed opportunities. I ask them, why did you hesitate at the time? Whom can you blame? The future is built upon the present. The path to the kingdom of heaven begins beneath our feet. If you don't walk it now, what are you waiting for, death? That's why I say, building Lifechanyuan is the best form of self-improvement and cultivation. Where else could one find such a fitting place for growth? Lifechanyuan revolves around two central themes. One is striving for the highest state of life, establishing the era of Lifechanyuan. The other is pursuing the highest state of life, perfecting the non-material structure of life and advancing to the 1,000-year world, 10,000-year world, or celestial islands continent in the Elysium world. The current focus of Lifechanyuan's back garden is laying the foundation for our journey to the 1,000-year world. Lifechanyuan Celestial, sent by the greatest creator, is here to guide us. Those with insight will see the essence, those without will merely join the crowd. Skeptics may wonder, is there truly a 1,000-year world for us? Where else could one find such a guide? The greatest creator sends an airplane to pick you up, you won't board. The greatest creator sends a boat, you won't board. Are you waiting for the creator to personally come for you? Do we even deserve or have the qualifications for such a privilege? Opportunities once missed never return. The key is to seize the present moment. In this moment, one can become a celestial being and a Buddha. Let go. Let go. And let go again. Today's Noah's Arkansas. What are we still waiting for? Are we waiting for extraterrestrials? Will one cultivate alone? Impossible, like carving rotted wood. Can selfish people be accepted into the kingdom of heaven? To be accepted, one must perform good deeds and store treasures in heaven. Where our treasures lie, so too will our hearts and futures. Do not withhold your love. The more you give, the more you will receive. Those who give little will have even that taken away. The lazy worker will not only forfeit their reward but also their position. Yesterday's merits belong to yesterday. Forget them. Today brings a new self, and with it, renewed effort and diligence. Flowers bloomed yesterday, but they must bloom again today. In this way, we remain steadfast and can enjoy the eternity of life. Let me conclude with Lifechanyuan Celestial's words of wisdom: if one cannot attain the Tao in this life, then when? Will smokers go to hell? Xiefeng. December 2, 2007. Smoking harms health and pollutes the environment. Therefore, anyone who endeavors to prevent smoking is doing the right thing, a compassionate act worthy of recognition. Lifechanyuan advocates for a smoke-free lifestyle. I, Xiefeng, am a smoker with a significant habit, averaging a pack of cigarettes daily. The harmful effects of smoking are extensive, as all cigarettes contain toxins. It's widely acknowledged that the best tobacco comes from Zimbabwe, home to the world's largest tobacco auction house. Even the best Chinese cigarettes must include Zimbabwean tobacco leaves to qualify as premium brands. Zimbabwe is known for producing 5 main cigarette brands: Newberry, Kingsgate, Beverly, Madsen, and Everest. I have tried all of them, with distinct effects. After smoking a pack of Newberry, I developed itchy red bumps all over my body. A pack of Kingsgate left me with severe lower back pain, Beverly caused my vision to decline rapidly, Madsen gave me headaches, and Everest invariably led to nosebleeds. This is not an exaggeration, many have personally witnessed my reactions to tobacco. These experiences demonstrate that tobacco significantly damages physical health. Moreover, regular smoking drastically reduces sexual performance and can even lead to a complete loss of libido. Smokers' lungs are undeniably blackened, and lung capacity is severely impaired. Smoking also hinders meditative practices. For Qigong practitioners, smoking makes entering the Qi state challenging. From personal experience, I found that abstaining from smoking for 3 days enabled me to enter the Qi state within a minute, whereas smoking prolonged this process to over 10 minutes. Therefore, practitioners of self-improvement and cultivation are better off avoiding smoking. Additionally, smokers emit an unpleasant odor, which can be off-putting to others. The smell also permeates their vehicles and living spaces. Smoking in the bedroom is unlikely to foster pleasant dreams. In summary, the disadvantages of smoking are numerous. Those who don't smoke should avoid starting, and those who do should quit if possible. It brings numerous benefits. Currently, I still smoke, but I choose a special type of cigarette with over 50% lower nicotine and tar content than regular brands. Smoking is primarily a habit, not a physiological necessity. That said, every rule has exceptions. For certain individuals, smoking may have specific effects or benefits. This is akin to drinking water, only the person drinking knows whether it is warm or cold. Will smokers go to hell? Now, let's delve into the main question. Refer to the Bible, Mark 7 verses 15 to 23, where Jesus teaches. Nothing outside a person can defile them by going into them. Rather, it is what comes out of a person that defiles them. Cigarettes are external substances entering the body and do not defile the soul. A person's inner goodness or beauty is unrelated to smoking unless their smoking harms others. Substances is determined by their non-material structure of life, not by smoking, meat, or alcohol. All medicines have toxicity. If smoking condemns one to hell due to its toxicity, then anyone who has taken medicine, breathed polluted air, or eaten pesticide-treated vegetables would also be destined for hell. Now, since fertilizers and pesticides are toxic, these toxins have entered vegetables and fruits. Therefore, everyone who has eaten vegetables and fruits would go to hell. Thus, the idea that smoking leads to hell, though well-intentioned, is baseless and unfounded. Buddha Sakyamuni taught in the Diamond Sutra, Chapter 14. One should develop the mind without dwelling on form. Do not let the mind dwell on sound, smell, taste, touch, or dharma. The mind should dwell nowhere. What is a cigarette? It is merely form. Dwelling on smoking demonstrates a lack of enlightenment and understanding of dharma. Such individuals, instead of promoting dharma, defile and undermine it. Do not assume someone is sinful or unworthy of enlightenment because they smoke, eat meat, or drink alcohol. Judging others based on outward appearances reflects attachment to form. As the Buddha said, "If you see me in form, if you seek me in sound, you are on the wrong path and will not see the Tathagata." Heaven or hell has nothing to do with form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or dharma. Life is a spiritual, non-material structure. Whether one ascends to heaven or descends to hell depends on the perfection of one's life's non-material